The world is full of wonders.
Magic is waiting in small moments.
And monsters might be watching, just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
I'm shoving as many hors d'oeuvres in my pocket as possible because I'm Damien Edgecrest.
If I was still wearing my gloves from the beginning of the night, they'd be coming off right now. I'm Raven Eugenia. Let's go.
A fight breaking out in the middle of a plan that could have been going smoothly? Glad to see not everything's changed. I'm Amity Starnbrook.
Am I just not allowed to have a simple date night? I'm Hugo Rashad.
Oh, poor Hugo.
Sorry, Hugo. This is me, the keeper, apologizing.
All right, I've got a couple. I'm going to run through them very quick. Not the first time I've endangered my team by abandoning them to get physical with another man. I'm Agent Whitaker, and it's time to finish him.
Yes.
All right, that's one.
Oh, wow.
That was one?
About to get my shit rocked, I'm Agent Whitaker.
Yeah.
Simple, snappy.
Finally, caught between a rock and a very hard place, I'm Agent Whitaker.
Oh my God.
Those were gold.
A banger intro sandwich.
God.
You know when you're at a work function and you have to leave with people you know? I'm Aiden Brightwood. Let's have an adventure. Last time, our heroes continued to navigate the socially tense and villain-fraught evening at the Deep, the casino and nightclub owned by the nefarious Jonathan King, or as longtime listeners will know him, King Octopus. We saw Whitaker and Valentine enter a high-stakes poker game. Raven and Aiden get their Mission Impossible on to recover a Selkie contract from King O's vault, and Hugo continued to dance deftly around interactions with the folk. After an intensely stressful meeting with King O, Aiden and Raven, along with most of their other friends, were alerted to a violent incident taking place in Portland's harbor as deep-sea Merrow began to attack Aaron Pike's expedition and the other vessels at the docks. Rushing off to engage, they left behind some of their friends, including Whitaker, who last we saw was in a losing battle against Mason Wright, the gruff and moody gargoyle security for the Deep. And that is where we pick up now. So, Whitaker, what do you do?
Oh, God. I imagine we're mid-fight, aren't we?
Mid-fight, you and Mason have been trading blows. Just mark 2 harm, at least.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
correct. And he marks, 4 harm, obviously. Oh, man. Yeah, Whitaker's squared up against Mason. He's got some blood trickling from his lip, and I think at the moment, is Mason just looking to keep him out of the casino?
I think at this point, because you two have started fighting, this is now on a trajectory where, Mason is going to make sure you can't re-enter the casino.
He can certainly try.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's give him a little left and a right, little cross and a jab.
Kick some ass.
Let's kick some ass, baby. It's an 11.
Ooh!
I think for the moment, just while we're still fighting, I'm just going to suffer less harm. I'm trying not to get hit by his big stone fists.
Okay. And you still just have your own fists to fight him with, unless you want to describe some secret agent weapon that you're able to pull out and use?
No, I think I want to believe Whitaker walked in there with nothing but the tech stuff, the spy stuff, and less of the weapons. I think those would have been caught at the door.
Then yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Whitaker's punches are going to get through Mason's armor threshold.
Sure. That sets the tone, at least.
You're connecting, for sure. He'll take a punch on the jaw. You feel it, solidly connect, and he takes that hit and follows with a counter. And every time the counter wallops into you, it's a solid, I think it's 3 harm for a gargoyle punch.
3 harm, -1 from the 11, and then the battlefield awareness gets rid of 2 of that, but 1 will sneak through.
Okay. As you're fighting, he will use his tail to smash a light in this alleyway to like dim the visibility here. And now you're fighting in shadows and you see his dark amber gargoyle eyes just moving, coming for you again.
That's just not fair.
Nothing in this life is fair, Mr. Whitaker. Unfortunately, the deck is stacked against you when it comes to me.
You're trying extra hard tonight. Stressed about the big event. Whack.
Whack, whack, fighting back and forth.
Normally, you don't get this creative.
You two are just conversing while slugging each other, and he's just like,
Well, work's been really difficult lately. And I can't say that I'm particularly pleased seeing my lady on the tentacle of that fucking schmuck I work for. Whack! So give me an excuse to blow off some steam. You're doing me a favor, mate. Whack!
Yeah, I was wondering about that, actually. Backs up a bit just to put a little space between them. What's the deal with that? What's going on there? That's disrespectful is what that is.
he says,
That's Morgan protecting me, the way I protect her. It's a contract thing. I don't know that you have experience with that sort of thing.
and he'll like swipe at your face with his tail.
Gross one, Jesus. Is everyone in there under some fucked up contract? Because I was wondering since the revelation. Dodge. Whack.
Yeah, you duck under his arms and like try to hit like under his ribs, and you just come away with more bruises on your knuckles.
Yeah, I always kind of figured you would work for him because there's nowhere else to work for you. But the secret's out now. You don't gotta stay just because that's the only place where a gargoyle could get a job. Why do you stay?
You talk about my job like it's the sort of career with human resources and resumes. You might be able to give 2 weeks' notice and walk away from the agency. Do you think they wouldn't keep their eyes on you forever? How do you think King O deals with people who know his secrets when they don't want to work for him anymore?
And he will reach down and pick you up by like the scruff of your jacket and toss you into like the side of a dumpster. Roll kick some ass again, because the fight's like continuing.
That's a 12, baby.
Ooh.
I will continue to suffer less harm. I think we're getting into talkie mode.
Okay.
Do I have that as advanced?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's advanced, you might get even more harm reduction.
I do have it as an advanced. I think I will just do, you suffer no harm at all.
No harm at all. Okay. You stand after that really solid hit. Definitely starting to feel like rattled and a little winded after this like constant barrage of fisticuffs you're in. And I think you could maybe infer fighter to fighter that like he probably has tried, or like maybe they did try to get out or earn their freedom in some way, and it was just like King O's King O. He'll come back somehow and make it so that there's an offer they can't refuse, or they feel threatened, or etc.
I'm sensing a bit of a theme here.
I know there's no easy way out of this, Mason, but there are more resources now. The thing is, Mason, I can't keep fighting you like this every month. One of these days it's just going to be too easy of a fight, you know?
He, not like rushing to punch you, but just kind of like stamps over towards you, like hands by his sides, like angry, but like not like continuing to slug at you.
I'm going to pick up like a metal bar from the ground real quick.
Yeah. So he gets like right up in your face. You can see like the flaring, almost like embers in his eyes as he like his rage sort of smolders behind the stone brows. And he says,
Unfortunately, in this life, Mr. Whitaker, you can't save everyone. And I think you might be wasting your time on me.
Oh.
and he rears a fist back to like really let you have it. But since you were going to suffer no harm, you hear, "Easy there, big guy. You wouldn't want this to end up on the Deep social media page, would you?"
Prithee!
And Mason turns, and as he turns his huge form, you can see being revealed as he moves out of the way, Prithee Devon is standing there with a phone held out in their like sleek white evening dress in the alleyway.
We just have all the callbacks today. All the callbacks.
Mason says,
Are you threatening me, little thing? You realize that bad PR means King O would have my hide, but I could have his first.
he kind of gestures to you, Whitaker. And Prithee says, maybe. You might also go for that fetching Gorgon he seems to be hanging around with.
Ooh.
Now Mason fully just abandons you, Whitaker, and starts to stomp over towards Prithee. Gets in their face.
Hey.
If you try to come for him, his tail is gonna try and block you.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Go ahead, roll protect someone.
Yeah.
The icon that is Prithee Devan has arrived.
It's another 12. I have it as advanced, too.
Ooh.
Unharmed and out of danger. Yeah, I think Whitaker was getting a little, tired and beaten back, on the cusp of unstable, mechanics-wise.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to use the metal pipe that he got just to, swipe it around and try to trip up Mason long enough to get to Prithee's side and, what are you doing here? Get out.
I think, Whitaker, you go to, leap on him with the bar, trying to, choke him back or something like that, you know? Or,
that's much more fun. Yeah, Whitaker.
Yeah. So I think if you try something like that, or even, trying to trip his leg up or something like that, right? You see that Mason is unfazed. You realize almost in this moment, maybe more so than ever, this gargoyle, you and he have this very adversarial relationship as two people working on opposing sides of large forces, right? But the way in which he does not even slow as a result of you leaping on his back like this implies that every encounter he's had with you, he's been holding back.
Oh my word.
But he does stop in front of Prithee and again doesn't flex or rear back to attack them. And he is statue still for a moment, staring them down. And they, very confidently, hand on hip, just have their phone. And they sort of pull it away just to fully gaze into this guy's face. And he says,
I think I've done my job for the evening. You two are out of the party.
And he will pull the bar out of your hands, Whitaker, so you have nothing to grab onto. You slide off him. And he shoots a look over his shoulder at you. Then back to Prithee, and he says,
You watch out for this one. He's gonna get himself killed.
Not if I can help it.
Oh.
Mason just nods and shoulders past them in a way that doesn't roughly, knock into them. But he will pause as he's passing them and say,
Bold of you, little twig.
And then he will purposefully drop the metal on the ground and step on it, and it as if to simulate a threat. And he heads inside.
Hot.
And Prithee is left watching him go and then makes eye contact back with you.
Whitaker is avoiding eye contact. He's going to get his suit jacket, and I think he looks a little embarrassed by the whole situation.
Mm-hmm. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Why are you out here? You're supposed to be... How are you going to be my guy in the chair if you're not staying seated?
You left with security. I got worried because everyone else is scattering. Were you planning on getting physical with your entire rogues gallery tonight? I saw you and King catching up earlier. Oh,
That was... I was planting a bug, Prithee, so we could listen to his meetings.
shit. Well, that would have been good to know half an hour ago. Let's see what our host is up to then. Prithee hits a couple buttons on their little agency watch and little waveform pops up. And we hear King O's voice coming from the tracer you placed on him earlier in the night with the deft kiss maneuver.
A strategic and well-intentioned maneuver.
Mhm.
Yes.
And no emotional baggage or
No,
issues attached to it at all.
None whatsoever.
You hear King O speaking and he says,
Well then, now that little trifling matter's out the way, perhaps we can get down to some real business. Before we begin, you might want to remove the tracing device from your neck.
God fucking damn it.
She sees everything.
Ah, crafty little bugger that he is. Thank you, Doctor. I can always trust your many eyes.
and the signal cuts out.
God damn it!
Fuck. Oh no.
That was short-lived.
Also, Olivia got on comms and said there's something going on at the docks.
Something at the docks. Is it Pike?
I mean, the whole area is being attacked.
I suppose we better meet up with the rest. Do you have a spare earpiece? Mason turned mine to powder.
They gesture at their dress. They're like, unfortunately, this dress does not come with pockets. I could give you mine. And as they like hold up and gesture at their watch, a call is coming in. And there's like little, and they go and press it. And we see again the little like hologram voice projection. This one has a little photo next to it of the director. Agent Devon, where's Whitaker? I need eyes on him now.
Meow.
Give me a moment, director. I'll just look him up in the system. And like taps on the brick of the alleyway with their hand.
Whitaker mutters, oh, look, he's already on the way to the thing you told him to go to. How about that? Yeah.
Looks like he's not at the casino. Chances are he left with Rogue Team. And Olivia says, if he knows what's good for him, he best be. I can't believe the risks he's been taking tonight. He's supposed to be keeping Rogue Team under control, not the other way around.
Wow, Mom's disappointed in you.
Prithvi just says, well, Edgecrest is still in the building. The night is young, director. Talk to you later. And they hang up.
Whitaker barely stifles a laugh before that hang-up button gets clicked.
Mm-hmm.
God, she's worse than my mum.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, we probably got to get to the docks. Bike's that way. Let's go.
All right. Prithvi and you will run off to the docks or towards your bike to head there.
And Prith, thanks for that.
What sort of guy in the chair would I be if I let my agent get taken out by a bouncer? Speaking of the docks, we are going to jump right over there, or at least to a nearby pier, one that is currently devoid of active attack, and a golden flash, as Aiden, Raven, and the Ramos twins appear on the scene. In the harbor, there are boats, both sinking and burning. Active gunshots are going off, with various crews fighting these Merrow as they sweep over the various vessels in the harbor. You can see a few of the boats attached to Aaron Pike and his retinue as they try to prevent the submarine or the exploratory submersible from being fully destroyed and like lost. What do you do?
Raven's gonna look down at what she's wearing and glance over at what Aiden's wearing. Well, this isn't gonna work. And she's gonna start to like pull out her cards and look at Aiden.
Yeah, she says, think you could hook us up with a costume change?
I got this. And she's gonna pull 2 cards.
Hell yeah.
Why did I say that?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I got a 3 on the dice.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Did you fail?
Yeah, tarot's plus weird. It's only a 2, so it's a 5.
Oh Jesus.
Oh,
all right.
no.
Hold on.
Well,
We got one more shot at this cool maneuver.
oh hey, I leveled up.
Yay.
Amazing.
The one good thing that has just come out of this.
All right, it's fine. We see you like pull the cards, go to start casting,
I'm gonna embarrass myself in front of the Ramos twins again.
and like a breeze kicks up and you almost like fumble and like drop the cards. Aiden will run over and like grab one before it goes in the water.
Mm-hmm.
But while that's happening, we do see the Ramos twins as Tomas steps forward and he plucks a little pin from the lapel of his coat. And as he pulls it away and sort of flicks it into the air, and Sheldon, his little turtle companion, emerges from this pin that was in the shape of a turtle.
Oh my god.
And Sheldon will sort of just like spirit floats over and like lands on Tomas's shoulder. Meanwhile, Marissa, also in like evening wear, right? So like not really equipped for battle, but she just places her 2 fingers over the amethyst pendant that she wears, mutters something under her breath, Ignis Erukai. And then her clothes, and basically from like the choker that she wears down, ignites in purple fire, wreathes her body, and when it clears, she is in her classic Goth Lolita outfit that she usually fights in.
Show off.
She sort of sees you and Aiden like fumbling around for shit. And she's just like, maybe stay out of our way on this one, Eugenia.
Oh!
But I just rolled help out for Aiden.
Oh, thank God.
And I got a 14,
Whoa!
God damn.
which is advanced,
Okay.
meaning her help out grants you a 12.
Oh!
Oh.
So level down.
Yeah, so that does that negate my fail?
I'm gonna let you keep it.
Are you sure?
Who cares?
Okay. It was really embarrassing.
yeah. Your failure.
That still happened.
Yeah, that still happened. But Aiden ignores Marissa entirely, hands you the other card, and you can activate your magic now. And I think both of us can just pick whatever spirit we want to like clad our battle lesbians in for this fight.
Yes.
Can I pitch Honeybee for Aiden?
Ooh, I like that a lot because Raven does that one. Like, she's done it a couple times. I like it, but I don't know if I want her to do it. I love Aiden using it. That's so good.
Yeah, bright flash of your magic, and Aiden is now decked out in the Honeybee armor, though the wings are supplanted by her own. And I think where you have like the visor with like the eyes and the like little fun antenna look, hers works into the like vine work hair clips she was wearing to be like almost halo-like around the back of her head in like a sunburst pattern.
I love it.
The train of her like gold dress is just like adding accents to like the back end of it.
Oh, I don't know who I want Raven to use.
You want to get Wendy in the fight?
Oh, that's true.
We kind of said they were like maybe on watch outside the building.
Yeah, they were like doing kind of a perimeter thing and mostly just being backup outside.
Right. But I love the idea that like, oh, Wendy's on perimeter check. Well, let me get them here. And you just summon them again. So they would like vanish from where they are and then they're here for you.
Oh, I love that. You know where Wendy was? Wendy, if they were up on a rooftop, they were watching Whitaker and Prithvi head to the bike.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. We see Wendy and Whisper just sort of on this rooftop. And Wendy is watching Whitaker go and then turns as if they're about to like gesture something at Whisper and just disappears in a silver flash. Your cocktail dress is replaced by the magical jackalope armor.
Perfect. I know that like only certain spirits can give Raven flight, but I know that the windy armor has granted like really big jumps. Could we say that Raven can kind of maneuver over the water and almost like jump off of it as if it was a solid surface?
Yeah, I think we've talked about how like Wendy's armor lets you jump on the wind the way they do.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you can just run across the surface of the water.
So she can get out there over the water with Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So yeah, you activate your magic. There's a gold and silver flash, and the two of you get your partnered up magical girl costume change.
Yes.
Aiden rolls her shoulders, feeling out the articulation points of the honeybee armor, and she turns to Marissa as a glowing visor with the honeycomb pattern manifests as part of the armor's face guard, and she says, I don't know, Marissa, you might need to stay out of our way. And the two of you can take off over the water as you rush out into the fight. What would you like to do first?
Are there any obvious civilians out that need immediate rescuing?
Yeah, there's plenty of civilian ships. It's almost like, imagine the like ship response for when Captain Sully landed the plane in the Hudson and like people who didn't have to come over came over on their boats to like respond because the submarine just sort of breached and was immediately like firing off flares of like, help, help, help. So a bunch of like tugboats and different like trawlers and things like came over to like see what they could do. And that's when the Merrow sort of just burst out and started attacking everything nearby. So there's plenty of civilian ships being attacked right now.
I think that's first priority is look for people who are actively in danger or like seem to be losing a fight versus one and try to head for those people first to help defend them.
Okay. That sounds like protect someone.
Don't let me down, dice. Got out your terrible rolls early. Let's go. Okay, that's a 7.
Okay. On a 7, you protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all the harm they were going to get. You end up on one of these tiny little personal hauling boats, and you see a couple of the crew, and you see these Merrow with like the big dark eyes, the smooth scale patterned skin. I mean, they've got sharp weapons that the crew are like fighting back against with like mops and other like just basic equipment. So describe how Raven arrives and saves someone.
She comes like bounding as fast as she can over the water, and she comes in like sideways at one of them. So these guys are on their ship with their weapons, and they basically just see a blur go by as she like makes a flying kick and takes one of them completely off the boat and back into the water.
Yeah, I love that. Just like kicks him straight off the deck and keeps going.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you want to keep flying off the ship with the one, or do you want to just like kick and then land on the deck?
If it's a small enough boat, I think she clears it completely and then like turns around on the water as it falls back in and comes back for another one.
Okay, yeah, sure. So as you leap up back onto the deck, having kicked that one away from like a very helpless person, you see the Merrow warriors who are attacking these other sailors notice your arrival, right? And they hear the like, as the one is kicked overboard and there's the splash. All three are going to come at you, and we'll say that like with their pikes, which again are tipped with like it's like a glass head on the spears. It's not metal or stone, but like a crystalline sort of point to them. And you see three of them come at you, 3 harm across the board from like the 3 of them attacking you at once. You can reduce that however you can.
Mm-hmm. Reduce to 2 because I suffer 1 harm less when I am kicking ass or protecting someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think we said Wendy's armor gives you extra protection in that regard.
Would I go back to having what? No, because I'm wearing like the cocktail dress under this spirit armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get kind of swarmed by these Merrow, and like the other one you kicked off is crawling up the side of the ship again. Aiden will get in a fight.
Yeah. It's a night for fighting.
Night for fights. 9 on the dice plus her tough is a 12.
Whoa.
She's ready to fight. Yeah, she will also land on this one ship. Rather than splitting the 2 up, she's going to like tag team everything you're doing just to complement that. And she almost lands a little roughly on the back of this boat so that like it dips. You know, like with her super strength, she's kind of like forcing the boat into the water with like a landing maneuver, and it shifts the deck. So the 3 that are attacking you suddenly stumble back and start to like roll towards her. And using her divine strength, she will like reach for them as they roll back and just like chuck them into the air 30 feet so that they go splashing a few hundred meters, you know, away in the water, away from this boat. I'll take your attack drives the enemy away in a route, meaning like this group of them are driven away from this boat, so you don't have to deal with them again. And yeah, as the boat like settles again, she will call to some of the sailors, "Get this boat to a dock and get ashore!" And the crew all hurriedly rush about to get their boat headed for a dock. I did a flyover. There's a lot of these things. We're outnumbered in a bad way, Raven.
Is anyone else from our team on the way?
Whitaker's not answering his comms. I haven't heard from Damien either.
I bet Prithee knows where he is. Hey, do you have eyes on Whitaker?
You could say that. And you hear the sound of a motorcycle engine in the background, and we see Whitaker and Prithee flying down streets towards the docks, headlights and street lamps leaving after trails as they speed along.
Are you 2 on the way?
We are currently en route. How's it going with the 4 of you so far?
Outnumbered as hell. Could use some backup.
Sounds bad. What sort of threat are we talking about? Should I contact dispatch at HQ?
Raven's gonna glance over at Aiden and like give a look of like, yeah?
Whitaker's a guy with a sword. Like, yeah, he's not going to balance the scales.
Yeah.
I mean, she's on the comp. She just puts her hand to her ear.
Yeah.
Prithee, we need search and rescue. And Prithee says, "You got it, Brightwood. I'll call the cavalry. You 2 just hold out until the rest of us get there, all right?" Click, 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 click. They quickly type something into their little piece of tech on their arm. At a red light, I guess.
Good. Safety first.
Actually, Whitaker, you just feel their thighs squeeze around you tighter to hang on.
I swear to God, Prith, I swear to God.
Don't make it weird. I have to type something.
No, I'm saying don't let go of me. I'm going way over the speed limit.
Prithee's gonna make him crash.
Prithee will summon the agency search and rescue teams to like get some folks here searching the harbor for survivors and people fleeing. As that happens, you hear also on comms, Tomas say, Marissa and I can deal with Pike's submersible. You guys focus on civilian evac and helping anybody else in serious trouble.
You got it.
And you can see jetting over the purple fire, sort of emitting like flares from her hands and ankles, is Marissa. And Tomas is sort of like following behind a little slower in like the purple domed bubble that he can create for him and Sheldon. And so he and Sheldon are sort of just like running in it like a hamster wheel and like pushing it forward.
Raven's going to lean over to Aiden and kind of gesture up at them and go, do we look that silly? We look cool when we do stuff like that, right?
I mean, you have a cute little bunny tail right now. I don't know that we can judge.
Damn it. And Raven's going to like scoot away so she can't see her bunny tail when she leaves. She's not going to give her the satisfaction of just walking away.
Ada will like step up onto the railing to like take off again. And she's like, you look great, babe. We're doing good.
Raven's going to like amp herself up and start jumping again and go to leap to the next boat that needs help and follow Aiden.
Okay. We'll let that fight and dangerous situation play a little longer and check back in with Damien, Amity, and Hugo.
Okay.
You guys were at the deep last we saw you trying to figure out what your next move was going to be since you had heard about the commotion from Damien.
Damien's like, okay, I have a motorcycle, but if anyone can get me to the docks faster, that would be awesome.
Which docks where?
The ones on 3rd and 7th.
Grab onto me. Amity's going to pull out her staff.
Yes, Amity.
Sweet.
Hugo, you coming?
He's going to take a moment, look around where they are still, and yeah, let's go.
Okay. And Natalie, I feel like this might be a use magic move. She's going to try to teleport them to the docks.
That is definitely a use magic move.
Okay. Really quick, she whistles for Whisper.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, thank you for that little detail. This is so good.
Because I imagine that Whisper's like part of the teleport. There's like some blue fire shit, if it works.
Yeah, just give me the roll.
That's double sixes, baby!
Whoa!
Let's go.
Let's go!
Yeah, you give a little whistle and Whisper, their ears perk up outside and they become the blue fire and fly through a window of the deep, shatter through it as the fire. They swirl into the tip of your staff, and as you strike it down into the ground, a ring of blue fire just surrounds the three of you and fully engulfs your forms like a magic trick. And like as the fire rises and leaves the ground, your forms also disappear.
Thank you for reading my mind so well.
Yep.
Thank you.
And moments later, in a blue swirl of flames, the three of you appear on the docks.
You gotta warn me before you do that.
It was implied. I thought you've done teleportation before with Aiden.
Yeah, but that's different. With Aiden, I'm expecting it to happen. Sorry, try not to lose my lunch.
There's no time. We can't argue about this right now. Look, and she just like points at the chaos in the docks right now.
Yep, as you specifically point and say, look, you see a fin whale breach and knock its huge form into one of the trawler ships that had like come to try and take people to safety. And you see it very much like tips and almost begins to capsize.
Oh god.
Go on, guys, go magic it.
Oh shoot, Damien, you don't have anything with you, do you? Got anything in your pockets?
I don't have much. Damien will take his belt off, and his belt buckle is comprised of 4 rings that are sort of like lopsided. It looks like one side is bigger than the other. And he takes the rings apart, slides them on, and the long bar that slides into the leather and keeps the belt in place, he slides it into the rings to lock them in place to make brass knuckles.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Shoutouts to Phoebe, but yeah, not much.
I would like for Amity to boop the brass knuckles and enchant them with use magic.
Ooh, yeah, okay. Roll again, different spell.
I swear to God. All right, that's an 8.
Okay, it comes with a glitch.
Is it an 8 though?
You want to give me a help out?
You gonna help out?
You want to help me out, boo boo?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll help out.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear, by the way, Natalie gave me a homework assignment to go ham with the magic, and I fully intend to do so.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
So we got a 9 on the help out, which should still be +2 to the use magic.
Which would make it a 10.
Yep, makes it a 10, no glitch. You enchant Damien's brass knuckles. But
Nice.
on help out within its mix, you also expose yourself to trouble or danger.
Yikes.
Hugo, right before you guys teleported, and perhaps this is why you are so shaken when you first arrived, the last thing you caught as Amity was rushing around and you were sort of trying to figure out oh, where'd Raven and Aiden go? Oh, they left already. Oh, right. In that commotion, on one of the tiered balconies at the deep, you saw, as the blue fire was encompassing your vision, Drake Fowler speaking to Fallen Springleaf.
Oh no.
So I will say you are exposed to trouble or danger by not being there to see what's going on with that. And that's the last hold from the hold that I had against you spent.
That's valid. That's fair.
Oh, bitch.
It's on brand.
But you're here, and Amity's magic works, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And I will also, just to up the stakes for you, say that you see that fin whale as it again continues to push this ship, and you see the boat kind of capsize and just tip over and is now floating inverted in the water. The fin whale opens its mouth, and leaping out of it and onto the capsized hull of this trawler ship is another one of these Merrow. But this one, they have some plate armor that they're wearing with lots of streaming, almost gossamer-like additions to the look. It gives the effect of a lionfish type fin, very ornate. And they are holding what looks like a staff almost grown from coral with several little holes in it. And they start to wave this staff in the air. And the air passing through the holes in the staff starts to create this melody, simulating the effect of a siren song. The water around them begins to roil and rise in large, towering whirlpool-like water vortexes. And they just continue to wave the staff in the air and thrust a hand forward, and the vortexes begin to randomly zigzag through the harbor, impacting with different ships, tearing people away from decks, and just mayhem has ensued as this undersea wizard is on the scene.
Dibs.
Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Amazing.
I made myself laugh with that one.
All right, what are you guys doing?
So Amity goes, dibs. And she is holding her staff in one hand. She starts to turn it around to broom style. She goes running for the end of the dock, leaps off and hops onto her little staff broom and goes zipping off towards the water wizard. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna call this guy, but she's making a beeline for him.
The Tidecaster.
Ooh, I like that a day.
Tidecaster. Love that.
I also will say, just for fun, as you leap onto the staff and take to the air, the blue fire for a moment catches on you, and similar to Marissa's summon my outfit spell, you also now can fully just get your little witch costume on to fight in, so you're not dressed like a surfer at a casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're comfy now.
Yeah.
Gotta get your comfy witch clothes on.
Yeah, I gotta get that comf.
Let's follow Damien and Hugo for a moment. What are you guys doing to assist in this situation?
Well, I've got a pair of enchanted brass knuckles, so I'm going to go apply those to things. Everything looks like a nail to me, so it's hammer time.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because Damien's not going to be able to take care of those polar vortexes or the wizard, but he can punch people back into the water.
Yeah, there's a group of Merrow that are they've maybe started to attack the harbor master's office in a raised station where you'd be able to look out and direct traffic of the different ships coming in and stuff, and you can see fighting going on over there.
Yeah, so I do want to kick ass. Yeah, let's just fucking punch.
Okay.
7 plus 3 is 10.
Nice. What's the bonus you're going to take?
I would like to force them into the water. Damien is running up and punching in center of mass, trying to get them into the water and off the land so the people can get out.
Amity, what is the magic effect, or how does it manifest in these enchanted brass knuckles you've given Damien?
Let's give him some shocking power.
Ooh, okay.
So
So they're just like crackling with little sparks of lightning.
A little lightning effect?
Yeah.
Sure. You slug a couple of these guys and they sort of fly into the water twitching. And, there's like the smell of like burnt.
Cooked tilapia.
No.
Yeah. Singed scales and whatnot. But you're kicking ass. You'll take some harm. The last one you go to punch, right, to sort of clear this area of the Merrow, they are punched in the face, but they don't like recoil or start to like lose control of their body the way the others did. And you see as they like turn to face you again, on their body, similar to Hugo, lightning tattoos. And this Merrow just turns around, flashes a sawtooth grin, and wham! Punches you back with a 3-harm lightning blast.
I do like to imagine that Phoebe's armor requires the full suit to be effective, but
I don't know that you even have your jacket, right? Didn't you take it off?
no, I do not have the jacket, so I think I'm armorless.
Yeah.
She's gonna be so upset with you.
Hugo will cut away as Damien suddenly realizes these Merrow are not all just run-of-the-mill flunkies.
I think for the most part, he's probably walking around, as silly as it sounds, shooting fish in a barrel.
Sure.
Long distance lightning casting. Or either lightning or ice, depending.
Okay. Yeah, a mix of your combat magics.
Yep.
Why don't you roll that roll then? We'll see how that is effective.
11.
Nice. Taking a bonus?
We are suffering less harm because that's what makes sense when you're shooting things from far away.
Sure. As you are picking off these Merrow from like sort of a vantage point, maybe you get up onto the harbor master's like roof, to like have that view of the whole zone, and you just start shooting off these spells. But at the last second, you hear footsteps behind you, running up towards you. And because you're suffering no harm, you react quick enough to see one of those bladed glass head spears whiz past your head into the roof that you're standing on. And immediately you will find yourself in close hand-to-hand combat with a sort of feminine-looking Merrow that has like a big crest of fin extending from her temples. She also seems to be dressed in some sort of chitinous armor made from some kind of sea monster scales.
That's fine. It's not going to go wrong at all.
Let's see the arrival of Whitaker and Prithee to this situation.
Whitaker and Prithee on Whitaker's old bike. Akira slide onto the scene.
Yes!
Ooh, nice.
So good.
Whitaker grabs the sword from the sidecar and slings it over his shoulder. I think he gives Prithee his leather jacket. Here, that's got pockets. Can I get some aerial on the place? Do you got any drones available?
They fish into like the little storage compartments you have on your bike, and they pull out 1 or 2 little observation drones, and they can get that airborne for you.
Nice. Natalie, is there any chance I've got spare earpieces in the bike? I would love to be in touch with my team again.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I will say, like, to play into that, right, you're like fiddling around for another spare earpiece, just like a backup thing. And Prithee will come over and they actually like put their hand on your shoulder and try to like get your attention.
Hold on 1 second, I'll be right with you. I just need one.
Whitaker.
What is it?
And if you turn to look at them, they put their hands up towards your face and take the glasses away slowly. I need to update these.
All right, how long is that going to take?
A couple of seconds.
Okay, sorry.
Are you sure you're okay? You just got your bell rung by that gargoyle.
It wasn't as bad as it looked.
Hey!
I am using the move. It wasn't as bad as it looked.
Incredible. Do you roll for that, or you just...
I do roll for that. It could be worse than it looked.
Okay.
Yes, roll with cool. Once per mystery, I can keep going despite my injuries. It's a 9. That's fine.
Okay. What's the 9 get you?
7 to 9, you may either stabilize or heal 1 harm. I am not unstable, so I'll knock off 1 harm.
Sure.
Currently at 2. Yeah, I think he does just give that sort of like strained smirk, and wasn't as bad as it looked.
They frown. I think roll manipulate someone here as well.
That's a 3. Whitaker coughs up some blood.
Prithee, their expression is much de-animated. There's less the like showiness that they often have on around you. And they nod and will turn away and like fiddle with the glasses near their watch to like change the feed being projected to them, and then hand them back to you sort of solemnly. And they just say, "All right, I've got it hooked up. You'll have eyes in the sky."
You all right, Prith?
I'm fine. Get out there.
Don't get too close. There's a splash zone. I'm gonna go steal a jet ski.
They sit on the bike and they say, "Person in the chair."
My God.
All right, Whitaker, you hotwire or make off with the jet ski.
Yeah.
Very, very 007 maneuver here. Just a random vehicle is suddenly available.
It's a bike for the water. It's gotta be there. It's fine.
It's gotta be there.
It's thematically appropriate, and therefore it exists.
Why don't you act under pressure as you start to jet ski your way into a fraught battlefield full of supernatural monsters and your very magical friends swooping about.
Wonderful. Yes. That's a 10.
Okay, you manage without issue. You have joined the fight. As you're skiing forward, like a Merrow just like leaps out of the water like towards you. What do you do?
Fucking hell. And just pull to the side. I'm not on Merrow killing duty at the moment. I'm gonna try to get to Pike.
Sure. So you're just gonna avoid it.
Yes.
Yeah, it splashes behind you, more leap at you, but you definitely avoid them. They're trying to like catch you and knock you into the water where they're at their most advantageous. But you're able to avoid it. And what is your mission if not Merrow fighting?
So Whitaker, while he's on the jet ski, he's kind of going around the perimeter to start, and he's like flicking through views on the glasses to try and get an idea of what the landscape looks like, where this massive like tidal whirlpool thing is, how big that is, and we're trying to get to the submarine.
Okay.
I am not aware that Marissa and Tomas are on that, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, read a bad situation.
Let's do it.
This is Whitaker's assessment tactically of the harbor. I know I'm making you roll a lot, but this is a very exciting
That's good.
situation.
No, it's the game. That's what the game's all about.
Yeah.
13. God, these rolls are way better.
Well, thank you, Dice. I really wanted to describe everything.
Hell yes. Okay, read a bad situation. Best way to protect the victims is probably the first and foremost best question. What is the best way in, I think, is actually a really important one for a guy on a jet ski.
Okay.
And are there any dangers we haven't noticed to wrap it all up?
A classic. Let's see. So, best way to protect the victims, you see as you flip through the like aerial shots of the harbor that Prithy's able to supply you in the little like heads-up display in one corner of your glasses. You already can see several areas where the fighting is a little more pitched. The harbor master's office, where on the rooftop you see two figures engaged in combat. One of them looks remarkably like Hugo. Even though it's a sort of faraway distance, you can see his dreads flowing and his signature ice and lightning spells being cast. You see in the water, skimming over the surface with her wings outstretched, Aiden is just like punching down into the water's surface, almost in anticipation of these Merrow leaping towards her. And so gold flashes just sort of like depth charges almost shoot down as she tries to like attack them before they can even surface.
Ooh, fuck these fish in particular.
You see Raven in the windy armor dashing about, either knocking the Merrow away from boats and telling the people to flee, or like, zipping away with a person and just placing them on the side of the shoreline to like get them away from a situation where maybe their vessel is going to be lost, but they don't want to, abandon it, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you catch sight of purple fire flashing around the submarine, and like you see a shark leap out of the water and glance off a barrier that forms, and then its tail gets scorched by like a shot off purple flare as you see Marissa and Tomas engaged on the submersible. And you see a blue flame shooting out across the harbor, almost ignoring everything else and almost high enough that like they're not even engaged with the rest of the commotion down on water surface level, towards one of these large swirling tempest-like typhoons forming. A storm is now gathering, right? Because that weather displacement is now causing clouds to gather, and you can hear like rumbles of thunder in the sky above as well.
Ooh.
So how to protect the victims? You know that Prithee called for search and rescue.
Yep.
And I think right now it still feels like your team is a little outnumbered. So the answer is you might have to choose which victims you're going to protect and just prioritize those rather than trying to save everyone in this instance. That being said, your second question was, what's your best way in?
Yes.
You see one of those typhoon things sort of just sweep by and really like do a number of damage on a like small private sailboat, and just sort of like shred the sails and snap the mast and everything like that. So like, you know that if you can make it to wherever you decide to go, if one of those things comes and takes your jet ski, you're out. You'll be waterlogged and just sort of treading water. So best way in, definitely avoid whatever's, sending those vortexes out. And dangers you hadn't noticed yet, you catch sort of on the periphery of this, almost moving away from the fight itself, is another vessel with its lights dimmed. And it's only picked up because Prithi's drones have infrared scans and different like heat signatures that they can look for. And you see on the deck of this ship is the siren. You wouldn't know that it's the siren that opened the portal for the submersible, but like there is a siren in a fishing net being hauled ashore by figures in dark clothing with their faces obscured. And just this ship is starting to leave this fight.
Whoa. I kind of gotta, right, guys? I kind of gotta.
You kind of gotta.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whitaker chimes in over the loudspeaker. Count in. Who's here?
Ugh, I'm in.
Things are kind of bad, Whitaker.
I know. If someone could find what's making those fucking tidal waves and get rid of it, that would solve a lot of problems real fast.
Amity's on that.
Excellent.
Amity's here?
Surprise!
Yeah, that's how I got here. Amity called dibs.
All right, get our wizard against their wizard, and let's get rid of that.
Amity should not be here. She's not licensed for this.
Fucking arrest me.
You didn't want me to try to stop her, did you?
Aiden, we are outnumbered. If you've got better ideas, I'd love to hear them.
No. Damn it.
Take that, Mom.
Mel, I'm here for the energy. Let's go. We see the yellow portions of the honeybee armor on Aiden charge up, and then a burst of radiant force explodes on the deck of one of the ships, sending a dozen Merrow flying in all directions back into the water. And Aiden rockets off to go assist another ship.
Whitaker's gonna give everybody like the aerial updates, and he's gonna just keep relaying those to people so everyone knows what's on the board at any given point. Hugo, do you need help over there?
Hugo can't hear you.
Hugo's not on comms.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that.
I kind of like leaving it in and just like all of us being like, Hugo's not on comms.
I'm sorry. Fuck.
He is here, though. He did come with us.
Damien, there's a fight on top of the Harbour Master's building. Make sure Hugo's not in trouble.
I'm okay.
You say as a lightning fish man starts to swing for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, should have given you fire magic, my bad.
Yep, I'll get Hugo, I guess.
And then, Whitaker's gonna leave that, and he's gonna go chase after the boat dragging the siren.
Let's check in with whoever. You're all here. If someone has a cool idea that they want to do in this harbor fight, let me know.
That's not a cool idea. Damien's just running over towards Hugo, dodging lightning strikes.
Yeah. Let's see. You're trying to escape this lightning fish man. Why don't you act under pressure, Damien?
Oh, no, but it's act under pressure, which means I get to add some math. 7.
Okay. You're able to avoid this guy. Let's see. Hard choice, price to pay. Damien, does this Merrow warrior follow you and make the fight that Hugo is in more difficult? Or does he go terrorize a bunch of civilians?
If he's a noble warrior, he's going to go after the guy who punched him with electricity. And this guy who's fleeing clearly needs to be taught a lesson.
Well, it's your hard choice to make. I'm narratively letting you have the control.
Oh, he wants some of this.
Okay.
It's personal. I punched him in the face, and it might not have hurt him, but he's not happy.
So he doesn't let up, and as you like reach your way, climbing a ladder quickly and like avoiding, his swipes with his webbed clawed hands, You make it up onto the top of the roof in time to see Hugo engage with this other fighter. Her weapon, unlike the others where it's just sort of like a simple spear, this one has more like a bladed crystalline edge to the one end, and then a red kelp trailing thing at the other end of it as like a distracting when she's twirling it around fighting with it. And similarly, her armor has like a lot of these like red kelp things that like fly off and sort of disguise her moves. And you think she's coming in with the butt of the staff, but it's actually like she just swung her elbow and part of the kelp like flung forward as a misdirect kind of thing. Hugo, what's your tactic against this fighter?
He's going to, I won't say stop fighting, but go purely on defensive.
Okay.
And try to, in a moment, get them to explain what they're doing or why they're there.
Interesting. So you're going to try and talk to them.
Yep.
Yes, you go.
Beat me to it.
Communication. Wild.
Okay.
I have a follow-up that's kind of on this topic too.
Ooh.
Thinking like investigators.
Great. Yeah, you do you just start talking to them?
It's going to try, and then he is assuming that they'll understand him, and he is prepared to adjust if necessary.
Okay. I'll have you then. What do you think? Are you reading a bad situation by like approaching this from a different tactic, or do you think you're just acting under pressure to like try and get a word in edgewise while she's attacking you?
I would love it to be reading a bad situation, but
I'll tell you what, if you want to read a bad situation, you'd probably take like at least a harm because you're more focused on that than like avoiding.
Oh, that's more than fair.
We'll call that trade. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead and read a bad situation and you'll get some questions you can ask.
It's a 9.
Okay.
That's one question. Actually, I guess read a bad situation was the wrong thing here.
Are the questions not sparking anything for you?
Yeah, the only one that really makes sense, I guess, is best way out, but that's his best way out, not best way out of the situation for everyone. So
if the flavor is you're asking this question of this in character, then like I don't mind it not being specifically one of the move questions, you know?
Okay.
We should come up with like additional questions for these moves because we always kind of feel like we're bumping up against them. I'd like to come up with some more like vague ones that would maybe apply to more situations than just the mystery portion.
Especially for social situations.
Yeah.
Does the rest of the gallery have any ideas?
I'll give you the one I'm thinking of adding. What's their motivation?
I like it.
What's their motivation, I think, fits more with read a bad situation because it's like you're assessing in that moment, why are they acting the way they are?
I was so tempted to have him just lie on the ground again. To revert that far, but no, that'd be silly.
Might get stabbed if you do.
Oh, he's totally fine with getting stabbed.
No. Well, why?
Yeah, if anything, it's probably just he stops using his tattoos, so he stops doing the actual magic part of the combat magic and switches to solely using the eskrima sticks to trap the weapon.
Okay. So in these moments of the fight, as you like lock her weapon in place for a second and try to like make eye contact and like establish some sort of like connection or like rapport with this adversary of yours.
Hey, whoa, wait, can we just talk a minute, please? Why are you all attacking the harbor?
And they say,
Your people have been trespassing in our realm.
Oh no, not this again. And I messed up. He doesn't have his eskrima sticks on him, so he's been having to do hand gestures and incantations instead.
hey, you know what? I bet Hugo could probably flash cast himself some eskrima sticks made of ice.
Ooh.
We could say you have like some ice sticks that you're like at least able to like quickly defend with, even if they're more like tonfas and are like sort of locked to your arm by having the ice grip around your forearm kind of a thing. But yeah, as you continue to fight, she says,
We have heard the rumblings. The world is changed, but we do not want to be disturbed.
Okay, that's great, that's fine. Then go away.
she will strike you and sort of like break out of the lock, and you see the crystal blade sort of like zip past your nose as you stumble back, and she says,
Tonight, we'll make sure that the human realm knows not to test us.
You gather this attack is about sending a message.
Oh,
Boy.
All right. Amity, you had your hand up.
yeah.
We see you zipping along, the blue fire of Whisper's tail trailing behind your staff as you float over the water of the harbor.
Yeah. She's going to zip her way over to the Tidecaster. He's trying to capsize the boat, right?
His whale has already capsized one boat, and now he is suspended or like hovering in the center of one of these like swirling water vortexes. And we'll say that at this point, Eastie Agency, like search and rescue, is starting to arrive. So you can see like the flashing, blinking lights of like helicopters in the distance and other like speedboats sort of chopping through the waves to get to this area with the blue and white Eastie crest on the sides of them, or, being projected as like a searchlight on the water's surface. And you see this Merrow caster takes the hollow flute-like coral staff that he has, and he takes a small crystal bead from like a necklace that he's got on, flicks it into one of the openings in the staff. And now when he like swirls the staff around, there's like a rain stick effect as this crystal is sort of knocked to pieces inside and starts to create the sound of like droplets of water. And also almost it has that effect of like if you've ever thrown a stone across a frozen lake and it gets that like sound of like the cracks sort of echoing out. And as this, these different sounds being made by the staff, you see that the water around him starts to change color and roil differently. And then as he thrusts his free hand forward again, parts of this vortex he's in just start to fly forward. And as they fly in the air, they solidify into these like ice javelins.
Oh, fuck. No. Okay.
You see, the Eastie helicopters break formation to avoid them, but now this guy is starting to hurl projectile ice constructs at the arriving search and rescue vehicles.
Amity wants to try to counter that. I think what will happen is she gets closer to this like swirling vortex of water and is going to start flying in the opposite direction that this vortex is turning. If she has magical girl transformed into her actual outfit with like her bag and all that stuff, she'll start pulling some sort of powder. It is a nullification powder, and she's going to start like sprinkling it out behind her, letting it catch in the blue fire to help it spread as she swirls around the vortex to try to like catch some of these projectiles and dissipate them and turn them into just like sprinkles of water with like a shimmer of rainbow coming through them.
I like this idea. Yeah, you sprinkle the powder behind you and it catches in the flame of Whisper's tail. And as you fly around this vortex, trying to avoid it yourself, branching from the back of your staff are long tendrils of the blue fire, which reach out and wrap around the projectiles before they can make it to their targets and melt and burn them and break them up. And so we see from like a distance a long wide shot of Amity with Whisper sort of perched on the back of the staff and 9 tails of blue foxfire reaching at the ice crystals and slapping them down before they can make contact with ships, or just like fully incinerating them so it just splashes a helicopter and the blades flick the water everywhere as you fight against this Merrow wizard. You'll use magic.
That's 9 plus 3, 12.
It's advanced, so you get a bonus.
What are the advanced ones? I did not write them down. That's silly of me.
The Keeper will offer you some added benefit.
That's the thing. There aren't advanced options. You just make it up.
Got it. Okay. Can I counter it completely then?
If you want to counter his like vortex magic as well and say this is like a super extra counter spell, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to do like the biggest fuck you counter spell I can possibly do.
Sure. We see this guy, seeing his like stuff start to be knocked out of the sky as he's like casting it. He will turn just in time to see you, but then the tails of Whisper all suddenly like zip forward and wrap around the water, and the whole vortex suddenly just in steam, and you see this guy fall and there's a little sploosh as he like plunges into the water. And I think, it's a pretty choppy night now that there's all this activity in the harbor, but you see rising out of the water on the back of the fin whale, he's like gotten onto his mount again and sees you there, and he just growls,
"Human witch."
Do I be sassy right now? Is sassy in character?
Sassy's more Val. You could be snarky.
Both of those things are very Val.
Plucky?
I think she just yells out, "You can't hurt these people! They're innocent!"
He counters back,
The humans did not respond to threats. So now we take action.
and he holds his staff up to his mouth, and you see his gills on his neck and ribs flare as he takes in a large breath and then blows through the staff
Oh, bitch.
as he calls to the storm, rumbling above. And a lightning bolt strikes down at you.
Oh, bitch. What can I do here?
Use magic again. This is a new spell. We'll see how you respond.
Okay. 8. So there will be a glitch.
Just for dramatics, I'll say the lightning bolt fully just like strikes you.
Cool. All right.
What's the lightning blast you go? 3?
If it's the physical blast, like close contact one, yeah.
Yeah. So 3 harm from a lightning bolt spell being cast at you.
Well, then I think the obvious answer is heal 1 harm from an 8 injury. So I only take 2.
Okay.
Oh, and I also have +1 armor for my primal force move, so it reduces it down to 1 harm.
Ooh, okay. Here, Amity, explain to me how it looks when you are struck by lightning and it does very little harm to you.
I think she gets up and stands on her broom like surfer style in anticipation to deal with this attack, and she's trying to like block it and redirect it. I think what we see is this swirling of air around her arms. Air is like the wrong word, but like it's some kind of indicator of literal gravitational force. Swirling around her arms as she's trying to like create something for the lightning to like bounce off of and redirect. It like gets her in the shoulder as she's like raising her hands up, so she does deflect it some, but not completely.
Yeah, Amity's cast barriers in the past before. We've said it looks like the shimmer of a mirage.
Ah, yes.
You quickly throw your hands up to catch this, lightning bolt with the barrier. We'll say it breaks the barrier and shatters, and like you do get zapped a little bit. But I like the image of this like sorcerer just like seeing you, one, react quick enough to block his blow, take the bolt of lightning, and we just see like you kind of shake it off and look at him, and there's little like crackle around the edges of your eyes because Amity has elemental affinity now as well.
And I just smile at him.
Yeah. Wizard battle. Let's check in with Raven and Aiden because we haven't seen them do stuff in a bit. What are you up to, Raven?
Raven is still helping civilians. I think she is focusing most on people who are like the most vulnerable. So if she sees people who like kind of have makeshift weapons and are like decently able-bodied, it's like, okay, they're okay for now. There's like an unarmed person who is sleeping on their houseboat. Like, I'm going to go get them to shore first. So she's very much on damage control and helping the civilians that need it most. I did realize that I almost forgot the move that I always forget. I have cryptid sighting, and I've never seen these weird fish people before.
Yeah, that's true.
So can I ask and investigate a mystery question about them?
Sure.
I don't really need what sort of creature is it. Like, just based on the look, I can kind of figure out their vibe. I think I'm going to go with what is being concealed here. I want to know if there's something we're not picking up on or something that wouldn't be immediately obvious. Or since she's not in contact with Hugo, can she get some kind of hint of why they're here?
Yeah, I think if you want to know what's being concealed here, you might want to get to the bottom of like what instigated this attack.
Okay.
If you want more information, you might want to go contact the person you suspect could be the trigger for this sort of thing.
Yeah. Can we say then maybe after this last person she's put down safely, she spots Whitaker coming on the jet ski and will try to intercept him, like meet up with him and continue if she sees he's heading towards the submersible?
I like that. Yeah, you like check in with Whitaker as he's like heading for that other boat and just running on the water next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get that little interaction.
She'll come bounding towards your jet ski and you hear on the comms, just like, how's it going?
There's like the momentary shing of him starting to unsheath the sword. It's like, oh god, it's just you. Cute tail. What the fuck?
God damn it.
Where are you heading?
Towards the submersible? I think that's That's got the key to why these guys are here. Where are you headed?
Checking out lead.
Cool. Keep in touch.
We see you diverge away. Raven, you dash across the water and over to the submersible where you see Marissa and Tomas are holding their own, but they haven't made any progress because this sub is literally being swarmed. You know, from all angles. It's like barriers, and then just gouts of the purple fire whenever she can let off a blast of it. And I will say, you see the twins, like they're putting in the work. They look kind of tired at this point. They see you coming. And, you know, there's like an arc of fire, and Marissa will quickly get behind a barrier so that she can like get on comms for a second. And she says,
Eugenia, there's injured crew inside. Can you get them out?
As she's coming in closer, can I start firing off some windy arrows to try and like help take some heat off the two of them?
yeah, sure. That'll be kick some ass, but you can add your weird because it's like, you know, your spellcasting thing.
Ooh. That's a 13.
Yes, Raven.
Very cool. What extra thing would you like?
I would like to, when she goes to shoot one of these Merrow, I want it to like go through and shoot one and then like also take out a second one right behind them with the same arrow and like knock a couple of them off at the deck at the same time. And do that with a couple of like, just in a couple of seconds with a couple of arrows, like clear the whole deck for them.
Oh, yes. I love this for Raven.
Yes. Redemption.
Just effortlessly draw 3 of the spines from your little hip quiver. A couple of them pierce the Merrow. Others are just like fully blown away as the spiraling quills become the like wind vortex and fully clear the deck. Tomas sort of has to put up a second shield not to be knocked off themselves. You have totally saved their asses.
She will land very gracefully onto the deck of the submersible.
Marissa will give you a begrudging nod and then turn to her brother and she says, "We gotta get this thing ashore." And Tomas will say, "Oh boy, all right. Oh, I should have stretched." And like slam his hand down on the submersible and a purple light starts to just like spread over the surface of it. You don't know what he's doing, but he's casting some kind of spell.
Ooh. All right. They said someone's hurt below decks?
Yeah, they had said someone's hurt below decks. You can see the open hatch. Marissa, just her flame jets kick on again and she will like take to the air to like cover your retreat.
Raven will jump right into the open hatch. Superhero landing on the inside.
Yeah. It's not that big, right? It's a private exploratory vessel, but it's not so small as to be one of those like, you know, the one man where you have to like crawl and sit on it like a luge type of thing. It's like big enough for like a deck, you know, or like an observation thing. You can see hunched over the controls, or even maybe like sitting back in one of the chairs, occasionally weakly reaching for the piloting controls to like try and get the vessel moving forward again, is Aaron Pike.
Oh, fun.
And he's just holding his side where it seems to have been stabbed by one of the spears. And you can see several dead Merrow just like bleeding out from gunshot wounds here on the deck of the sub.
Raven will approach him slowly as to not startle him since he's injured. Fancy meeting you here.
He probably goes to like shoot you at first, like not like knowing who it is, and his gun just like click, 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 like he's out of rounds. You have the windy mask on. It's like part of your look with the antlers and the ears and everything.
Can she like flip the mask up so he can see that it's her?
And he's just like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Could say the same thing about you. Let's get you out of here.
I don't think I'm walking out of here.
You see he pulls his hand away from a really bad stab wound in his side. It's just covered in blood.
Does he look bad enough that if I were to try and help move him that would be stupid and dangerous? Does he look bad enough that I need to heal him right now in order to move him, is what I'm asking, I guess.
He looks really bad.
Okay.
He clearly fought like 4 of these things at once. So, you know.
All right, respect.
Yeah, he's Aaron Pike, adventurer, explorer, extraordinaire.
Can I just kneel down and like touch where he's impaled and use magic to try and heal him?
Yes, roll use magic to try and heal him.
That's a 10.
Okay.
It's gonna be really embarrassing if I murdered this man.
Oh my god.
It happens with no issue. Your silver light touches where his wound is and it starts to close up. He still looks pretty weak, but you look like maybe you staunched the bleeding enough to like stabilize him.
Oh yeah. This is kind of gnarly, but since I rolled so well, can I break the spear so it's not a huge spear stuck in him?
I don't think he's like got it in him still. He stabbed and pulled it out and he's been holding it like with his hand.
Okay.
He's still looking rough, but you've at least stopped him from fully bleeding out of that wound. And he is just like, long way from Echo Bay, huh?
You're in my town now. And she'll reach an arm under and try to like pick him up, get him to his feet.
You can at least get him to stand. You're tall enough with like the windy leg extenders to not be like tiny underneath his like taller frame.
She's like ducking to fit in this low ceiling.
Yeah, it is low ceilings and everything. So, but if you want to try and get him up out of the hatch, you could help him up.
If the hatch is wide enough, I think she would just walk him over underneath it and do a big straight up leap with her arms like under his armpits.
Sure. So you leap up out, and when you land on the roof of this submersible, you can see Tomas at the front end, his coattails in the wind, and the whole thing is now surrounded by this purple energy. Sort of didn't see it as it like came around the back end of like the observation deck that you were on. You see large purple flippers appear on the side of the submarine and like a little head like poke up as Tomas has turned the exterior of the sub into like a sea turtle summon of Sheldon to get it moving through the water and like back to land.
Oh my god. That's rad as hell. How close are we?
You're gonna get there pretty soon.
Okay.
Marissa is just flying along next to you, and she says, "He gonna make it?"
Yeah, he'll be okay. And Raven's in like a defensive stance with the bow, kind of just keeping an eye out for anything else that might pop up.
Nice work, Raven. I'll get an ambulance team ready to receive. Keep these fish fucks off my brother. And she speeds forward ahead of you, a little purple rocket across the water's surface. Whitaker. On the jet ski, you're approaching this darkened vessel as it starts to move away, carrying this siren as a captive. What do you do?
I'm gonna pull up alongside them. East Agency, identify yourself.
Nothing. No response.
How close can I get before things...
You can get close.
I'm gonna get as close as I can. I want to see who's on this ship.
It's dark. Again, the lights are off other than like a red like safety light or something in the cabin, but they are not heeding your call.
Yeah, he pulls up alongside him, repeats the command just in case.
Okay, yeah.
East Agency, identify yourselves. What are you doing out here?
You hear some murmuring from the cabin, and then a figure opens the door, steps out on deck, and starts firing at you.
All right.
Oh shit. Whitaker Pretty said don't die.
Act under pressure. You're now in a boat chase.
Let's do it. Let's fucking go. It's a 13. I am acting under pressure. Let's go.
Okay. Action sequences for me. What do you do?
As soon as possible, I want to get the sword out and cut the siren free.
She's already up on the deck.
Shit.
They like pulled her up, and
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Then I want to try to get on the boat. If they're firing, I'm going to duck down, swerve out of the way, pull the jet ski out, and then hard cut to bring it back in, and Whitaker's going to take a big flying leap off the jet ski to try and board their boat.
Yeah, which you make it with a 13.
Very nice.
The jet ski pitters out and is left behind as you now cling to like the ladder on the back of the boat. And yeah, now that gunshots have been fired, another couple crew members like start to pull out little revolvers and are also shooting at where they saw you approach the boat.
It's still dark though. They can't see me that well.
It's pretty dark, yeah.
Let's lean into that. As soon as I hear like some break in the firing, I am going to try to pull myself over the edge of the boat and just roll towards cover, towards a crate, towards anything that isn't the siren.
Yeah. This is not a huge vessel. There's not a lot of like deck cover or like shipping things here.
Then I'm just going to get as close to the nearest person as possible.
Okay.
Just close distance. That's what you got to do with long range. Just close distance.
Yeah, kick some ass.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll let you avoid being, they're bad guys. They miss. But if you're getting into a fight, now it's the point where like maybe one of them will get a shot in if you're not careful.
That's right. Yeah, you can work that into the kick some ass roll I'm about to make, which is an 11. We're doing very good.
Okay.
I'm going to force them where I want them, I want to push at least someone off the boat.
Sure. Yeah, you could definitely knock somebody into the water. If you're not avoiding harm, I'll say somebody grazes your arm with a shot.
That's fine.
Handgun, I think, is 2 harm, right?
Yes. 2 harm. I can mix one of it with battlefield awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 3. Cool.
There's still, I'll say, 2 more crew members on the deck of this boat, and then there's the person like driving it, piloting it.
I'm gonna pull the sword out and get it glowing real dangerous like. Let's scare these fools.
Yeah.
I brought a sword to the gunfight. Let's go.
Yeah. I read a thing recently on the Monster of the Week subreddit where like you can technically use kick some ass not just for like every attack, but for like every sequence of being in a fight. So I think we're just gonna count that 13 and like get them where I want them as like a continued effort on your part to like deal with these people on the boat. So what do? You can just describe how you take them down, or if you want to try talking to them, or like any of that is fair game as you like fight the crew of this vessel trying to escape.
I think as soon as the sword comes out, if that shocks or surprises anyone, we're going to use the moment of hesitation to just say, explain what you're doing on this boat immediately.
I think one of them like fully is like out of rounds and just like does the thing where he chucks the gun at you and then like bull rushes you.
I swat the gun out of the way with my free hand, and I think I'm going to take the sword and just run it through his jacket to pin him to the side of the boat.
Okay. Third guy is like reloading and just taking aim at you again.
Pull the sword out if he's reloading. I gotta get the fucking siren free. I'm not doing... It's Damocles. He can cut through anything. Sword out. In one swipe, I'm gonna cut the net on the siren to try and get her free so she can just fucking leave this.
She tumbles onto the deck. The other guy gives like a call to the person inside.
Get out here, it's an agent!
He just starts firing at you to try and take you out before you can do anything else.
All right, well, I'm gonna rush him.
Okay, roll protect someone.
Oh, sure, that works, yeah. That's a 7 to protect.
Okay.
7 plus, protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm they were gonna get. So I guess I just take another bullet.
You run up to this guy. As you rush him, he steadies his shot and bam! Bullet hits you in the shoulder. But it does say some of the harm, right?
Yeah, so...
I think the bullet goes straight through you and gets her in the leg.
Youch.
So she just shrieks and it's like, ah! And actually, because she is a siren, it the sonic cry of it reverberates on this boat. The person from the cabin of this boat trying to come out and deal with you has to stop, and they grab their ears as they fall into the cabin, being knocked back by this painful sound. But you can knock this last guy off the boat if you would like.
I would like to, thank you.
He goes overboard.
And I will radio in real quick. We got a couple folks overboard. If I could get a follow-up immediately, thank you.
You hear over the radio,
I've got eyes on you. I don't see anyone in the water.
What do you mean? I just knocked them in there.
There's no one splashing around, Whitaker. Look out!
And leaping up the sides of this boat are several Merrow with their spears. Yeah, I'm pulling a move here.
That's good. No, I love this. That's tasty.
The guy who was coming out of the cabin again kicks the door open, has a gun pulled out, and before he can even pull the trigger, a spear just and he goes flying back and is pinned to the steering wheel of the ship.
Christ.
The siren screams again and the noise goes off, but one of these Merrow walks over to her, draws a crystal dagger and slits her throat. And she goes silent. The rest of the Merrow turn on you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Aiden, get me out of here.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I'll roll her Angel Wings ability. 6 + 2, 8. On 7 to 9, you don't quite manage it. You're either all separated or appear in the wrong place.
Can I say when she goes down to teleport him, he tries to take the siren with him, and maybe the siren doesn't make it?
Yes. She reaches out. You said, get me out of here as the command, so she's not even thinking there's anyone else on the deck to activate or extend her power towards. So as you're fighting back against the Merrow that are boxing you in, you try and reach a hand towards, and Aiden swoops in and just touches your shoulder with her fingertips and
Aiden, wait!
You guys vanish in the gold flash. I think it's just a short, fast teleport upwards. So Aiden grabs onto you under your arms and is just sort of flying there with you. And you can see below as the Merrow are all leaping off of this boat back into the water, and something goes off in the cabin, and a blue aquamarine flash just sort of through the boat, and it splinters apart and is claimed by the water.
God damn.
Holy fuck.
Whitaker, you're bleeding.
This is a fucking nightmare.
I'm gonna take you back to shore. We've got to... Oh, shit! An Eastie helicopter is in the same airspace as the two of you.
Fuck!
And as you say, this is a fucking nightmare, you see an ice shard fly and impale the helicopter. Shrapnel everywhere. Aiden has to wrap you two in her wings and just you spiral and land into the water before she can unfurl her wings and then pull you up in the air again.
God, can you get us to the docks?
Hold on. And this time she will just teleport you away from this zone. Hello, adventurers. Here we are again in the mid-reel after some dramatic turn in the narrative. We simply must keep meeting like this. Thanks for being patient with this episode. I've had a lot to do in the past couple weeks. We have officially recorded the next run of the Expanded Universe series, which, while it is a ways off from publishing, I'm extremely excited to bring you those stories soon. More than ever, we have woven our guest episodes into the canon of this season, and so you can expect them following the conclusion of Arc 4. Arc 4? That seems so far away, you say. I know, but I will try my best to keep us as close to on schedule as I can. Our summer is flying by as we prepare for a very full fall season, with 4 con appearances. We will be at Gen Con and presenting a number of panels, which we will announce soon on our socials. Follow us at Story Squadcast to catch those posts and see who we're speaking with. We'll be vending at PAX West with an expanded line of cryptid merch, which we are also planning to get onto the website as soon as we can. We are hosting a panel at FlameCon in New York, and I will be at Big Bad Con in October, followed by some much-needed time with the big trees of the West Coast to restore my mana reserves. All that to say, if we delay another episode or two in the coming weeks, that's why. You can always find the most up-to-date information on our schedule in our community Discord. Invite link is in the show notes. Once again, thank you so much for being patient and continuing to support our efforts as we travel around the country, spreading the word about our story to new listeners and collaborators. Patrons, you are making such a difference, helping us to cover some of the expenses involved in all this growth. If you can afford to pitch in, even a small pledge helps us do the work we do here. Patreon.com/TheStorytellerSquad to join and support our efforts. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Hello, adventurers! There were a couple extra things to announce, so I'm back. First up, we are promo swapping this week with Bad Heroes. Bad Heroes is produced by Dre, who some of you might know from Shrimp and Crit's live stream, Wahoo. Let's check out the trailer.
Hey, I'm Dre Silvertooth, and I'm a GM. You should absolutely come listen to our podcast, because I have the best heroes. They're hunting curses for the Queen of Vyre, and it's going great.
I got 5 hit points.
I have a plan.
Is it to write my eulogy?
They make really good choices.
Oh God, why did I do that?
It's all according to plan. Textbook success.
She did fall 45 feet in full armor, though.
Well,
fine. They are bad heroes. I have 4 very bad heroes on my podcast. But they are hilarious. Come check us out at badheroescast.com or find Bad Heroes wherever you get your podcasts.
I haven't been playing my bard correctly, so now I am going to.
Hold up. You mean trying to summon an electric guitar so that you can use the auxiliary cord was not doing it correctly?
Oh no, that was definitely correct.
You can find Bad Heroes online at badheroescast.com and on social media @badheroescast. And there is still time to vote in the Crit Awards. If you haven't yet, it would mean so much if you followed the link in the episode notes and cast your vote for us and some other faces you might recognize amongst the other finalists. Thank you so much for nominating us. We are beyond honored to be finalists thanks to listeners like you. Okay, bye for real. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and we'll see you soon. You appear at the docks. We see the submersible with Raven and Tomas and Marissa there. An ambulance is pulling up. The sirens are going off. And we just our camera pans upwards to the roof of the harbor master's office, where we see Hugo and Damien still engaged with these two other combatants.
Hugo, help! Hugo, help! Hugo, help!
Fishman is shooting lightning at Damien as he runs around the roof.
Oh, Damien doesn't need help. He's got this fine. He's totally got this fine.
Hugo, I don't got this!
Oh.
Anything but electricity!
You're gonna fight, you can try and take them out, you can try and scare them away.
Hold them in place so they don't stab us.
I guess the majority of things is gonna be just defending Damien.
If you want to roll protect someone to keep Damien from getting absolutely fried, yeah, that's a legitimate tactic.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's not get Damien hurt. 11.
On a 10, you choose an extra. You suffer little harm. All impending danger is focused on you. You inflict harm on the enemy. You hold them back.
I know what the spicy one I want to choose is, but the one that makes most sense is not that one.
Choose what you want. Follow your heart.
All impending danger is now focused on you.
It would be...
Okay. How?
So, do they both have whisper tattoos? Or is it just the one?
That's an interesting question. Why don't you roll sharp? Just a straight sharp check. It's not really a question. It's just to see if you notice something.
That's an 8.
It looks like the femme Merrow that was fighting you had tattoos. And that this guy fighting Damien, you can see the tattoos on his body lighting up. You don't see a whispered crest.
Okay.
You can't confirm that they don't have one somewhere, but you don't see one on what's exposed.
Okay. Can I ask a weird lore question?
Go ahead.
Have we determined what the source of the power for a whisper tattoo is?
Like where the power comes from? Or like why they work?
Pretty much. The intent is to make the assumption that members of the Whispered are also skilled at fighting other members of the Whispered due to the factioning.
Sure.
As such, they probably have some technique for shutting each other down, at the cost of shutting themselves down, most likely.
Ooh. Okay, interesting. I haven't considered this, but I like that as a logical exploration and evolution of the lore surrounding this particular topic.
If I can postulate slightly further.
Yeah.
If one considers whisper tattoos to be a connection to energy and spirits, then one could in theory shut them off by banishing a spirit.
Ooh.
Thus temporarily severing the connection.
I think this is an ability that like advanced whispered training has unlocked for you and your team specifically. I'm going to canonize that like this technique is a Hugo's Cell specific thing, right? You developed this with Rhea and Rianne and Zuri and like your friends in the Whispered, but this might not be a thing that like all Whispered groups figure out and discover, right? Or have been able to maintain. So yeah, I think it's like a nullification. You like invert the way you draw on your whispered tattoos, and that also will like create this sort of cancellation aura for any other type of whispered tattoo to like even the playing field. So that way, in case you get matched up with someone who has like a power set that just fully trumps yours, you can be like, all right, well, now it's just you and me, and the tattoos are off the table by doing this. So I think that's what focuses the attention on you, is suddenly you grab this one electrical Merrow's hand, you grab the other one and do this aura thing, and suddenly like the guy is like going to zap Damien and nothing's happening. And the other fighter, some look on her face changes slightly. It's hard, they don't have human facial muscles, but like she takes note of this. She will pull away from you, do sort of like a dance step around you, and with the butt of her staff, push Damien such that you like fall off the roof, Damien, onto like a balcony and are just like off this plane of the fight. And so then she like turns to you, Hugo, and she says,
You surface dwellers are full of secret surprises.
I'm not a surface dweller. I'm just a person on the surface.
the other Merrow calls to her and like speaks in a language you can't understand. And she nods, and the two of them take up a very like, okay, we're gonna now come at this guy in sync. I think I'm gonna make you kick some ass to see how this like next round of fight against two assailants at once goes.
It's gonna go poorly.
You don't know.
Just get within helping range.
9.
So yeah, you're gonna take and trade some harm here.
But it is in helping range, as Dirge just said.
That is true. Damien, do you want to help Hugo out?
Yes. So as the two Merrow turn to face Hugo and begins a complex series of strikes and parries and blocks and ducks and weaves, Damien crawls back up from over the edge of the ledge, and he takes his shirt off and charges in behind, and his goal is to throw his shirt over the head of the one with the staff, because the only way to get it off is if she gets one of her hands off of the staff. And once one of her hands is off of the staff, then it's way easier for Hugo or Damien to disarm her.
Okay, then roll help out.
Oh, that's at least a 10, but I don't have the advanced, so we'll save me some math.
That adds +1 to Hugo's, so your kick some ass becomes a 10 as well. You get to pick the extra effect now.
If you can get them where you want them, which is staffless, then they don't have any weapons or electric powers.
That does sound really good. Let's go with that.
You get them where you want them, which is without their weapon. And we will say, yeah, because danger is focused on you, Hugo, they completely miss him getting back in the fight. They don't expect like a human who took a hit like that to just be like, oh, okay, walk it off, and like to join the fight again right away. And Damien fully like distracts and confuses the femme Merrow, and Hugo, you're able to like get her staff away from her. You guys have found a couple of the two toughest Merrow in this like legion that was sent here to like attack stuff. But as you two fight, we see your forms silhouetted by a lightning bolt as it courses through the sky, and we will zip across the harbor where we see Amity fighting with the Tide Caller.
Yeah.
How's it going, Amity?
Yeah, this Tide Caller, he's getting on my last fucking nerve. I want this bitch gone. I want to get up close and personal with this Tide Caller motherfucker. I like that I'm just like keeping a theme of flying right now.
Amity flying on her staff is very cool. Like it's amazing to see her like proficiency at like zipping around.
I'm just specifically loving her casting while flying right now. What I want to do is I want her to start flying around him, trying to envelop him in Whisper's fire and teleport him away, literally banish the fucker.
Ooh, okay.
So we gonna try. What is 8 + 3? That's over 10, right?
That's an 11. Okay. The sorcerer is, he's been chucking ice shards at you. He's had his like whale breach out of the water and try and like hit you with a fin a couple times. You're just deftly avoiding all of these things on your little staff. And I think you might notice as you like sort of avoid the last attack that he threw your way that Whisper is getting a little like peeved at him too. Like through the connection between you two, they're just, their hackles are raised. They're like, little fox shoulders are kind of like, their little wings actually are also fluttering and like doing that thing of like birds when they're agitated.
Right. Could the wings be helping steer?
Yes!
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
I love that.
They're maneuvering so sharply that just every once in a while they need like extra.
That's how they help bank and like.
Yes.
That's cool.
Whisper's helping.
Yeah, they're right there for you.
Best buddy. She says, can't get him to talk it out? Time to put him in a timeout. And then teleports his ass away.
We see you again zip down and sort of make your last approach. And as you do, he's like pulling out all the stops. He's got like components that he's like smearing on the back of the whale and like tracing lines on their staff. And we see as like Amity zips across the water, everyone on the pier can observe this like battle of spells being fought out on the water as the water around you forms into, you know, when surfers are like going through the pipeline of a wave as it crashes? Like he is trying to create a wave that will like envelop you. And as it's forming up and over, it's also freezing, and like jagged ice spikes are like filling in to try and pierce at you.
Punk ass bitch.
The blue fire on Whisper's tail jetting you forward on your staff. And as you get closer to them through this like closing window, throw a hand out and the fire just appears in little motes like will-o-wisps around this caster, behind him, above him. And they start to dance around him as you like fly forward with your hand outstretched. And he calls a lightning bolt, and as he's about to hurl it towards you, the little motes of the will-o-wisps suddenly, and they form like an orb of swirling fire, like you said.
If I have to reach out to touch him to make it happen, I want to specifically boop him on the nose.
Oh, yes. I love that. So he like reaches his hand out, you see a gathering lightning bolt, and just as it's about to form in his hand, you get there and the blue fire surrounds him, and rather than the lightning coming down, blue fire shoots up into the sky and just dissipates into the storm clouds. And the wizard is gone.
How's that big tidal wave looking?
Yeah, how's that looking?
The spinning vortexes of water start to like splash down wherever they were. The harbor is like settling.
Yeah, Whitaker looks out over the bay. Nice work, Amity.
Aiden, I think, is just like watching the water and the different spells coming to an end. I think she turns to Whitaker. She might not say anything. I think you say good job, and her eyes shoot to you, and then she like sets her jaw and just takes off over the water.
Ooh. Mama's angry.
Let's quickly jump back to Damien and Hugo. You guys are still on the roof of the harbor master's office, but as I mentioned, everyone can see the pillar of blue fire shoot up over the harbor. And the two Merrow you're fighting notice that the havoc being wreaked by their spellcaster is starting to wane and come to an end.
So we have Damien and Hugo against the two Merrow. I do like the idea of Hugo having his two Eskrima sticks, and then Damien taking her staff, punching it in the middle to give him two Eskrima sticks, and then him and Hugo both doing the Eskrima combo, sort of start beating back the Merrow towards the water.
Sounds like kick some ass, with maybe help out from Hugo.
Oh, come on. 4 + 3, 7.
Can't really help that out, even with your +2 helping hand. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say that procs a kick some ass roll from Hugo, because you're not able to do it without both, like, risking something here.
It's weird having to use regular kick some ass again. Oh, life choices.
Yep.
And that's why we don't do that. A 5.
Oh, no.
Okay, this moment looked like so much cooler in my head.
The dice say...
The dice have a story to tell.
Yeah, I think as you're fighting, Damien, you can break the staff in half, you start fighting with it. We'll say, like, you're able to wound the electric or formerly electric Merrow pretty badly, using like the bladed end of the other one's staff as an attack. But
Didn't she have like some cool armor?
She does have armor, but like really what it is Hugo has like done this pulse to like nullify her magic. She sees this stuff happening in the bay, and she is going to pull some like martial form that neither of you are familiar with enough to like fully just trip Hugo up. And I think, yeah, like maybe gets a really good hit in with like what end of her staff she has left. Call it 2 harm. And then after you slash the other one, Damien, she will come around and do the like, she does that move where she like twirls the like what she has of her staff like around her neck, catches it, and the momentum of it slams into your temple. So you'll also take 2 harm. Does that make you unstable?
Oh yeah.
So you drop again, feeling pretty rough. Like you're now struggling to get up. It's not like when she first knocked you. And I think there's like a worry of like, oh shit, they got the upper hand. Hugo's down, I'm down. Oh no, oh no, oh no. But rather than feeling like her take her weapon back and like stab you with it or anything like that, You just hear some like very heated talking between her and the other Merrow, again in that language none of you can understand. And then nothing. You hear maybe a splash a little bit later as you like kind of get to your feet or sit up, struggling to clear your vision, but they are just gone, having abandoned this fight for some reason.
Is it safe to say that they forced us where they wanted us?
Potentially, yeah. So, you guys can limp down from the roof. It seems as though most of the Merrow are leaving the harbor. You know, no one seems to be able to like catch one of them to like detain, but it's become a cleanup operation and sort of a disaster response environment at this point. Amity.
Aha! Aha!
We cut to you out on the water with your staff and Whisper, who is sort of just like nuzzling into your side, very pleased with the magic you two pulled off together. And you see a bright figure approaching the two of you.
What sort of bright figure?
A winged figure flying over the water.
Oh, it's Aiden, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, Abby literally just goes, oh, here we go. She knows Aiden is gonna be pissed.
Aiden stops within like speaking distance of you, I guess, and just sort of like hovers there in the air. And she says, "Are you hurt?"
No. Are you?
No.
Good.
You can't just do this, Amity. There are rules now.
Was I supposed to stand back and do nothing? You needed Hugo and Damien's help, didn't you?
Hugo knows how to hide. This? And she gestures around and sort of like upwards to indicate like the blue fire. And she's like, we have to come up with an explanation now to cover for you.
I don't know what you want me to say. Should I have done nothing? Should I have just stood back and let that water magic wizard guy just blow everyone to bits? He would have destroyed all of those helicopters, all of those boats. Should I just have done nothing? Should I have just let them die?
The Eastie agents accept risk when they sign up, and you are not an agent.
It's not just about the agents, it's also the people stuck on their boats just doing their jobs. There were real people here at stake too, not just agents. I'm not stupid, Aiden. And I'm not Aisling. I can handle myself.
If you were worried about the people, why did you go straight to fighting the wizard? This is about you needing to prove something, and it is not your job to do that. I don't need to be your mom. As an agent, I am telling you to leave the scene. Go home, Amity. And she will turn and leave.
I think Amity's grip tightens around the staff, white knuckling as she twists her hands around it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a rage, but a resentment broiling in her. And she just says quietly to Whisper, let's get out of here. Let's go home.
A blue flash of foxfire, and you vanish from the harbor. We cut back to the landing area of the docks, where the agents are gathered and responding to this catastrophe. The local news is starting to show up again. It's a whole big commotion now because of how flashy this fight got. I will ask the agents, where are you and what are you doing at this moment?
In one of the ambulances?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Damien, you're being seen to. As you sit in the ambulance, you probably could have watched Aiden, her glow out on the water, or maybe you just see her like come back and she looks pissed. Her face is all scrunched up, her shoulders are tense.
You handle everything okay? You guys good out there?
We did what we could.
That's all you can ever do.
I'm screwing up.
You just got lucky Hugo and I got here in time. Well, not lucky.
She has a look of, I was about to share something, and Damien's quippiness has like cut it off. And so instead, she just sits in that moment for a second, and then she'll use her lay on hands ability on you.
What did I say?
That is a fail.
Oh no. The dice really do be telling their own story tonight, huh?
Dice be telling their story tonight.
She's just a little stressed right now.
Oh,
It's okay. I can still take one more harm.
one more. Oh, dude.
No.
Rules is written, it's on a miss, your aura causes them extra harm. But I'm gonna flavor this slightly differently. How much harm do you have, Damien?
I've lost 5.
What it does is she overclocks it a little bit.
Oh.
And she takes 4 of yours
Oh.
onto herself.
Classic.
And so all of a sudden you see like the bruises disappearing from you, and she winces a little bit.
You good?
I'll be fine. Get some rest, Damien.
You too. Ugh. Damien has to get back to work now that he's not injured.
Yeah.
Darn.
Whitaker?
Whitaker will intervene when he sees Pike getting seen to by the EMTs.
Mm-hmm. They like go to stop you, but then see that like, oh, you're a field agent. All right, what do you need? He's unstable.
I just need to talk to him very quickly. You can keep working on him. Just let me walk with you all.
He'll recognize you, I think. And he's like, oh, jeez, are all of you here?
You better believe it.
Just my luck.
All right, Pike, let's do this again. What were you doing out there?
Believe it or not, very legitimate exploration work.
Legitimate exploration work that turned into this. So regardless of how legal it was, I need to know what was going on.
Well, we were recovering what we thought were abandoned artifacts. Mostly photos. A lot of it was too heavy to take out of there.
What sort of artifacts? What sort of photos?
Some lost civilization.
Oh, interesting.
It's Atlantis.
It should be on the drive with the sub. Whitaker, you see over on the docks, Tomas and Marissa are like speaking in like hushed tones that's getting like louder and louder. And Tomas throws his hands up and like drops to his knees. And you see Marissa starts calling out, "Can I get a medic?" And we see that Tomas has been like grazed by one of the spears and is also injured. And the submersible, which like is sort of still just sort of leaned up against an area of the docks, the purple sea turtle construct around it flickers and vanishes again. And we see the submersible is like slowly starting to take on water.
Oh no.
God damn it.
Because it was damaged before the fight.
Yep.
Don't you say it. Don't you fucking say it.
Gonna need another sub.
God damn it.
But I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that you are not going back in there.
Not without another $60 million sub. No.
Heal up. I'll be in touch.
See you next time.
God, I hope not.
He is loaded into the back of the ambulance. Raven?
Do we think that there is news stations here at this point? Because I have a feeling Raven is on press duty.
That's fair. Is there something you specifically want to say to the press about this incident? Or would you rather like be coming off the tail end of addressing them and have a scene that's like different than that?
I don't have anything particularly interesting. It would just be kind of the usual, like, oh my God, what happened here? And you're like, the agency took care of it. The enemy has withdrawn, like that kind of stuff. Just basic stuff.
You finish up that like very quick like press statement, right? Basically, it's not even like a full conference. It's just like some reporter is like, "Can I get a comment, Agent Eugenia?" You know, and like maybe you know this person, and you're always like, "Here's a little thing, like I know you,
so you can go."
Yeah, right. And you come around, and like I think at this point, the windy armor like they just become windy in your arms.
It stayed just long enough in case they had to get a quick clip of her talking on TV.
Mm-hmm. They like reach up with their little like raccoon paws and like hold your cheeks and like press their head to yours. Like, I'm glad you're safe.
Oh, she'll stay there for a second and just kind of snuggle him.
Mm-hmm. You hear, "I've heard of deconstructed fashion, but you're giving it a whole new meaning, Raven."
Oh, bless.
And you see Prithvi sort of leaning against Whitaker's bike.
Looking fabulous. Pristine.
I mean, they look a little... their hair is a mess. Their hair is like so curly and messy right now. But their dress is fine-ish, I guess.
Oh, Prithvi, it has been a night.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
You know, and I will walk over and lean on like a railing with you, just sort of like looking at it, like the many flashing emergency response lights. You ever think about just hanging it up?
Running away, living in the woods somewhere? Yeah, all the time. I wouldn't do it though, not yet.
I would miss our gaming nights.
I could still have internet access in the woods.
Oh, so like bougie cabin in the woods.
Oh yeah, I'm off the grid, but I'm bringing the grid with me.
They say. That does sound nice. We should get a condo together or something.
Oh, that would be nice.
One of those timeshares. Those are good investments, right?
Yeah.
No, Prithee, no.
You both laugh at the joke they're making, and then they do kind of hang their head and they say, if I can be honest for a sec, I'm a little worried about Whitaker.
I'm generally always worried about him. What specifically?
Well, I've just been noticing.
If Prithy's taking too long to answer, Raven will bump their shoulders together. Hey, what's up?
Well, you know how he is. He doesn't look out for his safety as much as he should. I think when the missions get dangerous like this, he throws himself at them so hard because he figures he's already been robbed of a lot of his time. So if the rest is cut short in the line of duty, maybe that's more glamorous than the accelerated creep of time getting at him. Up until recently, I felt I was doing a good job of cheering him up. The more ridiculous I can be, the more it seems to distract him from how miserable he might be otherwise.
Maybe he doesn't need a distraction. Maybe he needs to talk about it. I can't think of anyone he trusts more than you.
If I were to ever stop, I'm worried he'd just break. So I just keep dancing. A little clown trying to save the cursed king. Sometimes it feels a bit like I've been wearing the mask for too long, though. If I take it off, he might not like what was left.
I have a feeling he has known you long enough at this point to know what's under that mask. That's why he's still here with you.
They just will give you like a little smile. You're a pretty good judge of people, Raven. I've always liked that about you.
I do my best.
I suppose I should take them both home at this point. Both my boys got pretty roughed up tonight.
I should do the same. I haven't seen Aiden in a bit. I should go find her.
You do that. See you Wednesday for Cult of the Lamb?
Wouldn't miss it. Raven will give Prithvi a hug.
They'll hug you back.
She's still kind of on the clock, but when they're not really on the clock, she's a hugger.
Don't let the director see us.
She'll give another little squeeze and then let go. She'll never catch us.
Do you want to go find Aiden?
Yes.
She is avoiding the press and kind of avoiding everyone, to be honest, and staring off at the water, pointedly in the direction where the spell fight was happening. When you see her, she looks way more hurt than she did during the entire fight.
I think Raven's gonna do that thing where she goes up to her and like goes to touch her and then pulls her hands away and then goes to touch her and is like, oh God, oh no. Why does she look so bad?
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll end up like putting a hand on her back and being like, hey, what happened? And she'll start like looking at her face and like holding it and seeing the bruises that she's acquired.
Mm-hmm. She winces a little bit because like everything's sore.
Mm-hmm. She's being so gentle.
I overdid it. Helping Damien.
Oh. Do you want me to try and fix it? She'll hold up her hand and let it glow a little bit silver and like be waiting for her okay, but kind of like, I can do it.
I think she kind of just like rests her head like into your chest.
Mm-hmm.
Does the thing of like muffled like into your, she's like,
Yes, please.
Okay.
Useless lesbian.
And Raven will use magic to try and heal Aiden.
Go ahead and roll.
We're just gonna keep transferring this pain around. Also, fun fact, in the meantime, I use my level up to gain one more weird, so I have a +3 now.
Hey! Great.
That's an 11.
Yes.
Amazing. Full success. You heal her one harm, which puts her in the stable condition. She still has 3, but it gets her off the like unstable track.
Good. Raven will just hold her close and let the healing magic work and just hold her way longer than it takes for the healing magic to work and like pet her hair a little bit.
Yeah. She just says, I want to go home.
Me too. Let's go.
She will reach up to her ear. Whitaker,
What's up?
Raven and I are done. See you in the morning.
Get some rest. We'll debrief in the morning.
You guys teleport away. We will move our camera away from the heroes of the harbor battle and back to the deep.
Yeah.
Hugo, did you have something?
Well, I had a follow-up that would probably lead into that at the same time.
Oh, okay. Tell me your idea.
So, Hugo, standing there in his slightly bloody, cut-up vest and everything, he looks around. He watches as Aiden and Raven leave as he's walking towards them, because he had seen Amity disappear.
Oh.
So he just starts walking towards the deep.
Ooh.
Because he needs to get his bike.
Oh, that's... Oh, no.
No, this is great. What are you going to do, Natalie?
Hugo, what's your harm at?
His harm's at 2.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
no, Hugo's fine. It's just all the teleporters are gone. He doesn't have a ride. He's going to walk across town.
And that gives you your camera can transfer to...
Oh, thank you so much, Day. What a gift.
God.
We see Hugo like raise a hand and quickly vanish. Just turn down a side street in a bloody tux headed for the deep. Oh, Christ. That's so funny.
Oh, this poor man. Oh.
Hugo's having one of those nights when like you go out partying with your friends and nothing ends up going well. Oh, God. All right. We cut to the deep where most of the people here are unaware that anything is going on unless they've brought their phones to this gala event. But we come upon Valentine as you are here with your winnings, a rather large sum of money. What do you do?
Well, if memory serves right, she was sitting at the bar having a drink and she saw Ops walk by.
Yeah, you saw Ops emerge from Kingo's private office VIP room.
Yeah. She makes sure her winnings are secured and is just kind of watching where Ops walks.
From your vantage point on the bar, you can kind of see her like moving down the steps of the like area that leads up to Kingo's private space.
Mm-hmm.
But when she gets down onto like the ground floor of this place, she just starts walking towards the bar.
Towards me?
Towards the bar.
Okay, well then I guess instead of getting up to follow her, Okay, if Ops is walking to the bar, she's been watching her movement, sees that she's coming to this level, sees that she's heading in this direction, tries to play it cool. Because maybe Ops doesn't recognize her? Maybe?
It's hard to track like where she's looking because again, her face is the like array of lenses.
Yeah, I remember. Horrifying.
She just walks up to the bar, literally right next to you.
Oh, incredibly awkward.
And like doesn't look or turn to acknowledge you, just like walks straight up to the bar and like stops at like the space that's like available next to you and waits to like order something. And is just sitting there staring straight ahead.
I feel like I need to read a bad situation in this moment.
Go for it.
Okay. God help me. 10?
Okay, asking questions.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's most vulnerable to me? What's my best way out?
Around Op's neck is what looks like a necklace at first, but you pick out that she is wearing a necklace of the batteries.
Good God.
And Ops will take a sip of their drink and set it down. And again, without like turning their head to look at you, they just say out loud, "It's good to see you, Ariel."
Is that Salem's voice?
You can't be sure because Victoria was able to modulate her voice box to adjust how it sounded.
Oh, God.
But that being said, did you ever tell Ops your first name?
No, that's what's getting me.
That also wasn't just a, no, sorry, I used the wrong voice, or nope, that's Ops' voice, you're remembering wrong.
Nope.
That was a very specific answer, Natalie.
This is fine. Oh, God. We need a floor time counter. Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm surprised we're only at 1 for tonight.
Oh my God. How many floor time meltdowns can Natalie get out of me in a single arc? Let's find out.
You seem to be doing well for yourself.
She is a little more rigid than before. She just asks flatly, "What are you doing here, Victoria?"
Working. I have a contract with Jonathan.
What did you do to Ops?
I didn't do anything. You see, she fiddles with the batteries on the necklace and unhooks one. Like they're hanging on like charms, you know, like a charm bracelet thing. So she unhooks one and she will reach up to like the side of the visor, press something, and a little part of the visor just and slides forward. And you see a housing in her head with a matrix of batteries.
Oh my God.
And she reaches in, takes one out, puts the fresh one in, and closes it.
Oh my fucking God.
I told you I could only trust myself.
What?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Ops was never a person. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal.
Oh my God. So what do you want? You don't need me, clearly. Why are you here?
I'm here because Jonathan pays me for the work I can do for him.
Don't be fucking stupid, Victoria. You're smarter than that. Why are you here, right next to me, right now?
Now she turns to look at you. The many servos of the lenses sort of all actuating at once. She says, I thought maybe if you saw that what you threw a tantrum over was something I'd already done, maybe we could work past it. We would be starting from scratch, of course, since you got everyone else arrested. But secret's out, I guess. I've less things to hide and big projects ahead.
I'm a little stumped here on how to have her respond.
That's all right. I owe you an answer for your read a bad situation.
Oh, okay.
Your best way out?
Yeah.
Walks up and sort of puts a hand on the bar behind you and a hand on your shoulder. And in his white suit with the gold metallic tie,
oh shit,
Marcus Meridian says, Victoria, dear, are you too busy? I had some business to discuss with your ex.
God help me. God help me.
She doesn't break her like face line with you, but one servo kind of looks at the Meridian and then back to you. And she says, seems you've already got a new contract in the works. Congratulations, Ariel. I'll be going. And she stands up from the bar, looks to the Meridian, and she says, good evening, and walks away. And he will just sort of stay there with his hand on your shoulder. And it feels a little warm there as it rests. And then he will remove it and sort of look to you and say, the offer to come work for me is still on the table. But I think now you at least owe me one favor.
She sort of resets herself by clasping her hands in front of her on the bar and turns her face slightly to Meridian. Name it.
I was about to leave. Would you care to join me for an after party of sorts? We can discuss ways I intend to make King Octopus and those who work for him pay for the slights they have given to me. Interested?
Why not?
He will turn and start to leave the deep. He is flanked pretty quickly by his 2 demon spawn bodyguards. And if you go to follow him, Vanessa Black emerges from around like a column, like a, perfect black cat, smooth grace. And she puts a very like familiar and like buddy like arm around your shoulder.
Awful. Hate it.
Welcome to the team.
I'm allergic to dander.
And you leave with Meridian's entourage.
Damn.
Hugo, you make it back to the deep in time to see Val exit with the Meridian and his crew. just as she's stepping into like the limousine or, whatever vehicle they're taking out of this place. Val, do you want to notice Hugo?
Abso-fucking-lutely, I do.
Okay. Yeah, the two of you lock eyes in this very critical moment.
Hugo catches a glimpse of anxiety on Val's face.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he gives her the classic "you good" head chin uplift.
She doesn't give any indication of response. She just looks at him, he does that, and then she ducks down into the limousine.
Okay. What would you do after that, Hugo?
Assuming he doesn't need to worry about the party itself, he would literally just grab his bike and then try to get in contact with Anya, Rian, and
that crew.
Corey, yeah.
You can get a text back from Rian that's just like an address in Portland, like where they're staying.
He would take one more look inside of the Deep. He would recall the various encounters that happened over the course of the night, and then he would get on his bike and head out.
You head off to go pick up Anya. Whitaker, you finish up and are able to like leave the scene of the harbor fight.
Man, I'm sure glad that like you two aren't seeing anybody, so I have people to hang out with. 'Cause Raven will just go off with Aiden, and now the Hugo Anya thing is getting pretty serious. So I'm glad I can count on you guys.
Wow!
Want to play games when we get back?
Damien, I'm so glad that's your takeaway from the night.
I'm going to destroy your score at Beat Saber.
No, I've been practicing. We were doing some Eskrima stuff up top. I think Hugo's onto something.
Oh, yeah? Okay, bring it on, tough guy.
If you put another dent in my ceiling, I swear to God.
We'll put the wrist straps on tighter this time. It'll be fine.
Yeah. The three of you make it home. The night wears on. You play some Beat Saber. It's getting to the point where like you've had maybe like a nighttime kind of tea to wind down. Then the bell for the apartment is rung. You know where you would like ring at the front door of a complex to like check in or like buzz somebody to be like, hey, I'm here.
Sure, he'll go over to the little intercom. Who is it?
Mr. Whitaker, could I come up and speak to you for a moment?
Oh!
Whitaker looks over at Damien and Prithvi and is just like, all right, I need you guys to be real cool. I think I'm having a girl over.
What did I just say? Son of a... Fine. Good for you.
Whitaker goes back to the door. You can come up. Please be advised, I've got roommates.
Thanks. See you soon. You invite Morgan Wright up to talk. Raven, you appear on your deck when he hops off your shoulder, and you guys can go in the door to your apartment. Aiden kind of just like collapses onto the bed.
I was going to say, that's what Raven does too. This has become a thing that happens quite often. They get home, take their shoes off, and just like flop.
Mm-hmm.
Let out a big sigh.
It's floor time.
Oh, it's so floor time. They're in their living room.
Yeah.
They don't even make it.
Just on the rug of the living room.
Yeah.
Listeners, you can't see this, but I'm flipping Natalie off, but it's mostly affectionate.
Listen, you guys made 2 a.m. tuna snack real. I get to make floor time real.
Everybody should know about floor time. It's proven to calm you down.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
You can stretch. It makes your back feel better. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for you. It's good for your emotional regulation, which apparently I need to do more of now. Sorry, continue.
She'll kind of like nudge at your foot with her foot.
Raven will grab a pillow off the couch and like toss it to her and grab one for herself.
Oh.
So I've got a little pillow under their head while they lay on the floor.
I feel like I'm such a mess around Amity lately.
It's understandable. It's a really weird situation. I would say probably no one in the history of the world has ever had to deal with. Ever. There's no rule book on this. How do you deal with this? Like you're doing your best.
I end up feeling too many things at once around them, and then I end up snapping or saying things I wish I hadn't. I don't want to be upset with her. Do you think she'd talk with me and Vivian maybe?
It's worth a shot to ask.
I'll call her in the morning. I need to apologize at least.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
She rolls over on her side to face you and reaches out to hold your hand. You know, I think we're the headline tomorrow regardless of what story gets printed.
Yeah. We did kind of kick ass tonight.
You did. You were great. We'll have to figure out a way to become a more boring couple.
Yeah. Okay, First Light. Let's do that.
Wow.
I want to establish, I don't think Raven ever calls Aiden the First Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's a little speechless.
Raven's just giggling to herself. She thinks it's hilarious.
Aiden just lets herself fully glow and will sort of like prop herself up on her arm. And she's like, are we using titles now?
Everybody else does.
Huh. I guess I better come up with one for you then.
I can't wait.
Okay. Chosen one. And she smiles and leans over to kiss you. But before she can, the window in the kitchen of your apartment is shattered.
Oh.
And a dark black lancing whip of shadow wraps itself around Aiden and pulls her away from you towards where it punctured the window. And she's like grabbing at her throat up against the window frame.
We can't have one night. God damn it.
Pouring in around is the inky black smoke.
This bitch.
If she was holding her from the other side of the window, her smoky form lets her just maintain the grip while completely mirroring herself into the room so that she's now on the other side. And she growls in her like raspy, ghastly voice.
No one steals from the vault.
And Raven, the door to your apartment is kicked open by a large hooved creature who is then followed by a short hairy creature and a gangly avian creature.
Oh, fuck.
Craster, Clyde, and Ronnie enter your apartment, brandishing weapons.
Well, shit. Can Raven just bolt towards Aiden and try to get a hand on her to see if Aiden can just teleport them out instantly?
Yeah. You get to Aiden and latch onto her.
Let's go. Bamf us out of here.
She grabs onto you, and there is a flash. But you only make it out onto your deck. And you can see around her neck where the smoke was is a like dark band of something.
Oh.
It is actively pulsing, crackling, and she's still like coughing. She's like, and like goes to like reach at it, and Lena swirls around, grabs Aiden, picks her up, and has her like shoved up against the railing of the deck. And she says,
King O would rather keep you as a prize, First Light. The perfect addition to the menagerie.
Oh my god!
Oh, I hate that so much.
and that's where we'll end our session.
What?
No.
Hey, Brittany, is it floor time?
I think it's floor time.
Okay, I'll meet you on the floor.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Time for floor time.
The little prairie dog of their heads going up and down.
How dare you?
And remember, the true floor time is the friends you made along the way.
GG.
See you next time, adventurers.
Okay, goodbye.
Why are we being kidnapped?
We watch as a group of Merrow travel away from the dark Portland harbor atop the backs of whales and other marine life. They are a ways off from the ongoing emergency response as fires aboard ships are being fought and Coast Guard patrols search for survivors. The feminine Merrow silently leads her warriors at the head of this formation. And we hear a bell and see a small boat coast out of the fog bank towards them. The Merrow go for their weapons, but a figure calls out to them. Ahoy there, me watery brethren. Before you turn me into a bright green pincushion,
I've come with an invitation you'll want to hear. King Octopus would love to have a word with ye and offers an apology for some misunderstandings that have happened on his account.
The Merrow general eyes Drake Fowler at the bow of this small boat suspiciously, but she says,
Your king seeks the prince's forgiveness. That he does, and quite a bit more besides.
We fade from this scene and into a view of the aquarium tank at the deep, where King O sits lounging in his underwater throne composed of cement tidebreaker tetrapods. A swirl of water forms within the tank, and emerging from it are 3 Merrow clad in their gleaming chitinous armor. The general and the tidecaster wizard we recognize, but the 3rd Merrow is a tall and lithe but powerfully built individual with a very regal bearing. The tidecaster steps forward and speaks in the Merrow's native language, which travels better underwater. But translated, he says,
Prince Orachelio, master of the deep current, lord of New Atlantis, and protector of the deep waters, will hear your apology.
King O sits up, just slightly, and grins, flashing his gold-toothed smile.
Thank ye for coming to speak with me, your highness. I do apologize for any disturbance your people might have suffered on account of my curious friend, Mr. Pike.
The prince tilts ahead and responds,
That human has been rifling through our home, trespassing uninvited. If you wanted something from us, you should have come yourself. Oh, I see that now. And again, I'm truly sorry for the offense. I hate dealing with the surface dwellers as much as you do, but I wasn't aware anyone even lived in the Lost City anymore. That human just kept asking me for more money and more armed help, and I will admit, I'm a desperate creature, so I gave him what he asked for. You see, I've been looking for this.
And King O pulls from his coat pocket a photograph of the large artifice device that Pike's team had been surveying.
I'm hoping you know what this is.
The prince says, That is an arcane engine. The original Atlanteans built them to power their city when it was a surface territory. None of them are functional anymore. Their engineering lost.
Ah, I see. Well, my research tells me that they maybe never quite functioned as intended anyway. Weren't these the very things which sunk Atlantis and gifted that fair city to your ancestors?
My grandfather told stories of the city's descent from above the waves. He said the Atlanteans doomed themselves with their hubris and greed. If these engines did cause such devastation, they clearly did not achieve what the Atlanteans were seeking. I do not understand why you would be seeking such flawed devices.
Flawed? If you wanted to power a terrestrial city, perhaps. But nearly perfect if you wanted to sink a portion of the surface neath the waves, don't you think?
King O sits and waits, watching the prince's face. He's waiting for something, a look of recognition, and then it appears.
You mean, you intend to— I do! And I could use some help in the doing if you'd be obliged, Prince Orachelio. So, your highness, one royal to another. What do you say to an alliance?
And King O extends a slimy, wet tentacle forward. Prince Orachelio pauses and glances at the engine's schematic once more, sharing a single look to his general, who nods enthusiastically. And the prince claps their webbed hand into the proffered tentacle of King O.
We have an accord, then!
We hear King O's laughter echo through the watery aquarium tank. And we cut to black. Happy Kraken Week, adventurers.